Alrighty guys, welcome back. Earlier we were talking about the Los Angeles Lakers firing Coach Darvin Ham, and now we're going to be discussing the NBA playoff games. Before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so I can see it, and it also really helps the show.
Right. So, how many games are we covering over here?
2.
Okay, 2. I just want to make sure I'm timing things properly here. You know what
2.
I mean?
Yeah. Alrighty. So, our first game that we're going to be talking about is Minnesota versus Denver, which was game 1. This story also comes from Yahoo Sports. So, Anthony Davis punched the Denver Nuggets in the mouth Saturday. Denver hit back, but Naz Reid delivered the knockout blow in a 106-99 Minnesota Timberwolves win over the Nuggets in Game 1 of their second playoff series. Billed as the continued coming out party for one of the game's brightest young stars against the reigning champs, Saturday's contest lived up to the hype. Each team took its turn in the driver's seat before the Timberwolves ultimately prevailed in a tense win on the road to put the Nuggets on notice. Edwards scored 16 first-quarter points, including 13 of Minnesota's first 18, as the Timberwolves jumped out to an 18-4 lead. The Nuggets answered with a 21-5 run to close out the first quarter with a 25-23 lead. From there, it was the slugfest until a late Minnesota run sparked by the NBA's sixth man of the year. Reid scored 10 straight Timberwolves points in the fourth quarter, including a pair of three-pointers to put the Timberwolves up 94-88. The Nuggets never recovered as Minnesota's held on down the stretch to stun the champion Nuggets in their own building. The loss marks the first time since 2022 that the Nuggets have trailed in the playoff series. They never faced a series deficit in their run to the title last year.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
I'm hearing you read this, and it made me smile because I was laughing at myself.
Why?
Okay, first off, I am a Laker fan, so I am so used to getting tenderized by the Denver Nuggets so often that when we were talking about talking about games that we're going to do, I saw the score. Because what I tend to do is I'm in Europe, so the games are played in the middle of the night. So I don't get the games live. I watch the games the next morning. So I accidentally saw, sometimes you go to a website and it's like, Minnesota shocks Denver. But in the world of social media, there's so much of that clickbait, crap going on, and you're just like, so I saw that. And so I clicked on it and it was like, BillyBob.com website. So I'm like, I don't believe that. So I went to another site and it had it that Minnesota beat Denver. And I'm like, oh no. So I went to ESPN
Tate was
to confirm. Yes, that's how crazy it was. I went to 3 websites. I skipped the game and went right started because I saw that. I started chasing it. I went to 3 websites before I believed that Minnesota beat Denver in game 1. How crazy is that? Because you're so used to getting tenderized and spanked as a Laker fan. I just was like assuming, this is going to be, doing what they do. And it wasn't. Game 1, think about game 1 in Denver, arrested Denver Nuggets, Murray, Jokic, and Anthony, they call him Ant-Man, Edwards. I think that's a horrible nickname. Ant-Man. I think that's a horrible nickname. I would like to name him the Happy Kobe. Here's the reason why. he plays a lot like Jordan and Kobe. It's weird watching him with a lot of the same moves, the same killer instinct. But when Jordan and Kobe do it, they got that look, they got that eye of the tiger thing going. They got that intensity going. He's killing you softly he's smiling, he's happy on the court. He's doing all the things that you see Kobe and Jordan do with a smile on his face. That's why I call him the happy Kobe. Because he reminds me so much of Kobe, but it's like he's enjoying it more.
Yeah.
He's enjoying it. With Jordan and Kobe, it was like, I'll enjoy it later. Right now, today is business. This is a business meeting. I'm here to kill you. He's enjoying the whole process. As he's driving on you, he's dropping fadeaways on a team that no one even took serious. That's the thing about it. No one really took Minnesota serious. Yes, they're winning games. There's lots of young teams that win games in the regular season and then get smashed in the playoffs, especially in the second round. The young teams, the second round is where young teams go to die. And Minnesota, it was like, not us.
Yeah.
Not happy Kobe. He was killing. Like, I watched him. Murray is the Frankenstein of basketball. He lumbers, he's slow, but he's methodical, but he kills you. And I watched Minnesota speed him up, where he's dribbling and he's running around. And it didn't even look like Murray because they were frustrating Murray. I'm sorry, not Murray, but Jokic. They were frustrating Jokic, making Jokic make bad passes, making a lot of bad decisions. It was amazing to see. And I'm like, that's another thing when we talk about Darvin Ham getting fired. When I saw that, I'm like, yep, Darvin Ham got to go. Cancel Christmas on Darvin. Yeah. Just seeing that alone is like, here's your pink slip, sir. You know what I mean? So that's the way it was. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that because I know we got more to talk about.
Yes. So the next game we'll be covering is the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic, which was Game 7. This story comes from AP News. So Donovan Mitchell brought redemption and relief to himself and the Cavaliers. A year after being bullied and bounced in the first round of the NBA playoffs, Cleveland is moving on, and Mitchell made sure. "This is why I'm here," he said. "It's my job." Mitchell scored 39 points. Caris LeVert added at 15, and Cleveland avoided a potential franchise-shifting loss by rallying for a 106-94 win over the Orlando Magic on Sunday in Game 7 to advance to the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Cavs traveled by 18 in the first half and were in danger of being eliminated early in the for the second year in a row, a scenario that may have led to firings. But Mitchell, who scored 50 in a Game 6 loss at Orlando, and has been battling a left knee injury for months, put the Cavs on his back. He carried them past an up-and-coming Orlando team whose playoff inexperience showed in the second half. "I don't mean this disrespectful, but it doesn't really mean much," Mitchell said. "We didn't come in just to win the first round. We accomplished one goal. Now we have to do it again. That's the mindset." According to the NBA, Cleveland's comeback is the largest in a Game 7 since the league began, tracking play-by-play in 1997 and 98. Evan Mobley grabbed 16 rebounds, and Darius Garland hit a critical three-pointer after getting a pep talk from Mitchell in the fourth for Cleveland, which won its first playoff series without LeBron James since 1993. The Cavs will begin the second round on the road against the top-seeded Celtics in Game 1 on Tuesday. Boston went 2-1 against Cleveland this season. In the closing minutes, the towel-waving crowd inside Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse chanted, "We want Boston," a matchup that didn't look likely an hour earlier.
Okay, first off, I got a few offs, but this one. Listen, Don't be chanting you want Boston. Don't nobody want Boston. Nobody wants Boston. Not this year.
Mm-hmm.
You want, maybe they heard it wrong. We want everybody but Boston. Maybe that's what they were chanting. Okay. You don't think you
No, I
don't
don't
think they
think
heard
so.
it wrong?
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure now, because sometimes microphones are a little off and maybe they just missed that little part. Um, I'm from the Cleveland, Ohio area,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of funny to talk about this. I'm from a little town in Ohio, Alliance, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of weird because Cleveland, the Cavaliers were on chill mode. This weekend, I thought they'd be training and everything. I'm getting phone calls from home. Hey, the Cavaliers are in Alliance. They hanging out and chilling in my hometown. Now, here's a cool thing about my hometown. We have an actual castle in our hometown. So it was donated to our school. There was I think it was J.P. Morgan's nephew lived in my hometown. And when he passed, somehow the castle ended up being donated to our high school or to our school system. So the first thing I want you to do, Faith, is type in Alliance, Ohio Castle, and you'll get to see the castle in my hometown, which is right. And my school was right behind the castle. Mm-hmm. So that's the castle I grew up with, which is kind of weird to say, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
So you get to see the castle that I grew up with. It's a nice looking castle.
I don't know if you'd call it a castle. It kind of looks more like an estate than like a castle.
No, so what happened was the guy bought a castle in Europe, shipped it over brick by brick back in the 50s or something like that. Don't quote me on the history timeline, 40s, 50s, whatever time period it was. But he bought a castle, had it shipped over, built. He lived in the castle, and then eventually the castle ended up being donated to our school board. And that's where our school board holds their meetings. And I've been in that castle a million times. Matter of fact, I used to sneak in that castle and play laser tag as a kid. So that's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the Cavaliers were there before the game, the day before they had the game. And I thought that was really weird because, normally the teams are like shutting down. And I thought when I thought about it, I'm like, that's incredibly smart. You're in game 7 against a team that is highly motivated. You're in game 7 against a team that is your equal. These two teams are so evenly matched up. That's the reason why I tell you the story about them being in my hometown, is because I thought it was a smart thing to go on a quick little road trip before the game to kind of loosen everybody up and have a more relaxing moment to put people in the right mindset. Sometimes relieving the stress is the key to winning a game. And I thought that was incredibly smart. What the Cavaliers did was to kind of relax their team instead of, making them more stressed out. So, and I think things like that are little things that help teams win, especially when you look at a game like this, where the Cavaliers and the Magic, they both play defense incredibly well. They're pretty much identical teams who have played exactly the same way, resulting in pretty much a stalemate. Mm-hmm. Game 7, both teams played incredibly well. Cavaliers had to come back, a big comeback to win. And this is a franchise-changing moment for the Cavaliers. The Cavs haven't won since LeBron left. Mm-hmm. So to see a situation where they were able to get over the hump in a highly contested 7-game series against Orlando and move on is huge. Like they were saying, if they lose after getting knocked out of the playoffs last year, maybe you look around and say, hey, what we're doing is not working. Maybe we need to part with some players here, maybe do away with coaches here. Now it's, hey, we're on to the second round. We're contending against the team, the Celtics, who people think are favorites to win the NBA championship or thought to be a major contender for the NBA championship. We're going on there and we're going to match up head to head with them. There's no revamping the team, bringing in, bringing in new players, bringing in new coaches. Now we're there. We've arrived. There's a whole different mindset. Like the Lakers are like, what we're doing is not working. Where the Cavaliers are like, we've arrived. And that's a great thing. So talking about the Lakers, looking at the Cavs, they're both LeBron James teams, both, two of my favorite teams, but it's like they're going in different directions. This is a great story. I'm looking forward to seeing how well the Cavs match up with the Celtics. The key to the Cavaliers playing against the Celtics are the better team. I'm just going to keep it real. But can Cleveland play the defense they need, that smothering defense to slow down the Celtics, make the games competitive, and get a few upsets and possibly win the series? That's what I want to see. Looking forward to that. So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take another short break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about what is next for the Los Angeles Clippers. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.